Hey guys, how are we going today? Just doing a quick sound check. There's a weird echo coming somewhere. Let's see, figure out where it is. Muted that. Ooh. What if I mute this? Okay, sorry guys, I'm just playing around with the sound at the moment because I've spent like 2 hours trying to figure out sound. Some huge issues. How's this for sound now? It's weird. I've actually muted all of my audio input, but there's still sound coming through. I don't know where this sound is coming from. Anyway, you guys can hear me. That's all that matters. So what are we doing today? We are going to be doing differentiation level 3, the 2021 exam paper, and we're going to go through question 2. So question 2, we're going to go from question 2A all the way to question 2E, hoping to finish around 45 minutes, and I'll answer questions all along the way. Hello Postman Pat, welcome. StarTech, hi. Infinitum, welcome back. Who else we've got here? For getting me through NCEA level 2. Henry, you're welcome. What are you up to in level 3, man? Are you doing level 3 or? Carter says, G, got me all excellent watching your videos. Glad to hear, Carter. Yeah, it's always nice to kind of hear some feedback from people. Charlotte, yeah, I remember Charlotte from level 2 last year. Nah, you look, you still I always say this to you guys, like, you have plenty of time to get ready for it. The key for level 3 exams, once again, it's just practice and a bit of strategy on certain questions that have been coming for a very long time. What I'll also do is, while I'm having a chat here, if you guys want to kind of have a go at this achieved question, I will go through the answer at about, I don't know, let's go 8:04. I'll go through the answer at 8:04 p.m. all right, so that we kind of get things along the way and we kind of do some questions as well. Yeah, so advice for you, Charlotte, is go back to all the past exams, just work through one question at a time, and I think that's one of the best ways to practice for calculus exams. Your teachers should have some old exam papers that they probably could share with you. Just ask them. They're called like Syncos papers or Cohere papers. Sometimes you get exam papers, especially the older ones, like that are not like your secure assessments. You can always ask them for like if they have any spare other questions. Yeah, my best advice is just practice, and practice. Yeah, Postman, yeah, you get the NCEA papers, but you also get other papers as well. So the other variety of papers is like, there's also questions in like D&D resource book. I think that they're like, what, like $6 or $7 that you can buy. They're pretty good with the exam papers. So they give you like 6 exams in like one booklet with fully worked answers. So that's a really good idea. All right. By the way, I forgot to mention to you guys, I will record as I go. Just for those other people, I'll probably like put it all together at the end of next week. Put a video out for differentiation so people have something for revision stuff. So let's go through question 1A. I'm going to record. Okay, so with question 2A, question 2A, what we've got here is we've got a differentiation with chain rule, I believe. So we're going to go f dash of x. So f dash of x is equal to, we're going to bring the 5 in front, and we've got 1 minus x squared And of course 5, we've got to reduce it by 1, so that's going to become 4. And I think this is the part where people always forget to do it, but you need to multiply by the differentiation of whatever's inside the bracket. And inside the bracket in this case, when you differentiate 1 minus x squared, you're going to get negative 2x. Now, you do not need to simplify this question any further. You can actually leave it exactly like this, and that's going to get you an achieved grade. Nice, easy question to kind of start off with. And remember, guys, differentiation, like there's a big little sign that says there, you do not need to simplify your answer at all. All right, so just making sure that you've actually put down all the elements. All right, so let's go to question 2b. This is question 2b. By the way, you guys didn't have any questions with question 2a, did you? I mean, that was pretty just your classic straightforward. Yeah, infinitum, you do not want to be doing integration of that. By the way, integration of that is not possible, I think, because it's got that x squared inside of it, so you probably will end up making some crazy, well, it is possible, but it's just going to be like some super ugly equation. Anyway, guys, I'm going to leave this question up here for you guys, and I will go through the answer in about a couple of minutes. So we'll put a time of 8:00, actually let's go 8:08, that's plenty of time. Now let's go 8:09. Yeah, so I'll go through the answer for this at 8:09 p.m. But you're like, you just told me that you've done all the exam papers, and then now you're asking me what is I'm assuming that's differentiation, because I don't know what that word actually means. Differentiation. Oh, it's alright, Postman Pat. Like, I'll tell you what, like, sometimes because I think I've told you guys before, you know, I teach like year 8 and year 9 maths, and yeah, I like some days I just go, man, I do miss I miss level 1 and level 2s and level 3, just the difficulty of the questions. Oh, was that you, mate? Yeah, that was a very interesting email about that one, because I read that and I was like, I gotta reply to this guy straight away, because like I think I only left senior college because I just got so tired of assessments, man, like just marking it constantly, internals. But you know, this nighttime streaming is like, it's like I'm so exhausted today, like I'm shattered today. But my wife's like, oh, do you want to go to sleep? Just go to sleep. Just watch some TV and go to sleep. And I'm like, oh, no, I actually like doing the tutorials, because it's relaxed. I do a couple of questions here and there, answer a few questions for people. Yeah, I don't think it's just your school, Postman Pat. Like, there's quite a few schools that are struggling for maths teachers and science teachers, because to be honest, man, like, you know, the pay that we get and the amount of work that we've got, it's just like, it's insane. Like, I'm like, my mom's a maths teacher. She teaches in Australia. She's been telling me to come to Australia for nearly 10 years, right? It's crazy, because like, mom is just a teacher, and I'm like, you know, when I was the head of department of maths, so I had a team of like, I think, was it 6? I think I had about 8 people, and then, but I was still getting way less money compared to mum. Mum was just a normal teacher, and she's like, oh, just come to Australia, you know, you'll get like 20k on top of what you're actually earning with less responsibilities. And I was like, oh jeez. Anyway, let's go to this next question. Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon anyway, so I'm going to be around here. I'll be back for this in 2 more years, not that level yet. Ah, yeah, no worries, Aditya. It's nice to meet you, and I'm sure you're going to be in my virtual classroom for the next 2 years. So anyway, let's get going through this question. What do we have here? question 2b, we've got a nice little equation. Find the x-coordinates of any stationary points on the curve. So we've got to differentiate this equation and put it equal to 0 and find out when, for what values of x is the gradient equal to 0. So now looking at this equation, we can kind of see straight away we've got to use quotient rule. So I'm going to use y is equal to kind of like u over v. By the way, if you forget this formula, it is in the formula sheet. So I can kind of then say that y dash is equal to u dash v minus uv dash divided by v squared. Now this is just my way of writing it because I remember it quickly. In your formula sheet it might be written slightly differently, but that's not a problem because the differentiation of these things are quite straightforward. So you can actually go u dash is equal to 2x and v dash equals to 1. So now what we're going to do is we're going to put down y, and again you might have noticed I wrote f dash of x in the top corner, and then here I've done y dash. It's pretty much the same thing. So I mean you can just replace it with f dash of x, or you could put it as dy dx. It doesn't really matter. We're going to put f dash of x. So u dash is 2x multiplied by v, which equals to x plus 1, minus u, which equals to x squared, multiplied by v dash, which equals to 1. All of that is divided by v squared, which is x plus 1 squared. Now we want to know when is this gradient function equal to 0. So we're going to put down 0 equals, and I'm going to expand the quadratic in the top there. So I've got 2x times x and 2x times 1, which is going to give me 2x squared plus 2x. And of course I've got x squared times 1 times this minus sign here, which is going to give me minus x squared. And of course that's all divided by x plus 1 squared. Now remember, the denominator kind of disappears because like if I take the denominator to the left hand side, 0 times the denominator is 0, so it's going to become like this: 0 times x plus 1 squared equals, now I've got 2x squared minus x squared, which equals to x squared plus 2x. So carrying on, I've got 0 is equal to x squared plus 2x. Just going to come and work here. I can factorize this, and I'm going to get 0 is equal to x times x plus 2. Therefore, I can say that x equals to 0 or x plus 2 equals to 0, and I'm going to get x equals to minus 2. So grades wise, unfortunately guys, this question is worth an achieved, which means you've got to actually get the correct derivative, and you also have to get the correct two solutions to get an achieved. I'm looking at the schedule here at the moment. Let me just pop it up here. Desktop cam, is that it? Yep, that's the one. So you guys can see here, yeah, so you do need the correct solutions with the correct derivative to get an achieved. Right guys, anybody with any questions with question B before we move on? I'll try and answer some questions on the side there. Tyrese, I'm just working on a graphical methods internal. It's pretty brutal. Why, dude? Like, you only use like 3 graphs. For the graphs internal, you use a parabola, use a sine graph, and then use the circles, and you're pretty much done. Anyway guys, let me know if you have any questions, otherwise I'll put the next question up. Alright, let's go next question. Now the good thing about these calculus questions is that, you know, they kind of come up with like nice 2 achieved questions, 2 mediocre merit questions, and then they come up with like excellence questions. So you kind of know that the last question is going to be an excellence. They've never stayed away from that format. I know like in level 1 they mix it up. I don't know why. I don't know why they do that. It's just so frustrating. In level 2 they kind of keep it straightforward as well, achieve merit excellence. But yeah, but level 3 it's always been like this, and I hope that they don't actually change it. Yeah, Postman, what I'll do is like after I finish the like these types of questions, I might actually go back and write some parallel questions. So questions that are like very similar but with the numbers changed, so you can kind of still get some practice in and kind of work through it. I'll go through this question in about, what should we say, 8:17? Yeah, let's go 8:17. I'll go through the answer for this at 8:17. Now the question I always kind of ask is like this, where's everybody from? Which area? Like, don't worry about the school, but like which Auckland, how far are we people coming today from? Cost differentiates to negative sign. Negative sign. Wellington. How's the weather in Wellington? Man, Auckland is pretty rubbish at the moment. Like, my dog is pissed off at us because he hasn't gone for a walk in 2 days. Oh, I did say the word. I shouldn't have said the word walk in front of him. Sorry, buddy. Go back to sleep. Yeah, I shouldn't have said that WLK word. He's not happy. Hawke's Bay, nice. Nice, Hawke's Bay. So I'm assuming that you guys have been kind of keeping up with this channel since level 1, or some of you like only found it this year at level 3 or level 2. I actually did something very cheeky earlier this year. Like I went and looked up what do you call it? Found a place in the ministry website that actually had the emails of schools. So I actually sent out a message to all the schools that were doing NCEA level 1, 2, 3, and I said, look, I've got heaps of resources here free for you guys. Feel free to use it. Give it to your maths kids. But yeah, sometimes people use it. Sometimes people don't even know it exists, man. Like, I know, like, I think you get about 100,000 kids that sit these exams, and I think it's like maybe about 20-30 know about this. Start of 2020 lockdown was pretty epic, Postman Pat. Like, I ended up like doing like tutorials every night during that first lockdown. Just crazy, but it was the only bit of teaching I enjoyed, like, because yeah, we were kind of like new school and trying to understand how to teach maths online for year 9s. Yeah, that was interesting. Anyway, guys, let's get through this question here. What do we have here? Okay, let me just put this up and then we'll start working through this question. So question 2C, what we've got here is we've got a lovely equation. Of course, it's product rule. We can say that it's product rule because we've got one function here and we've got the second function that's cos 3x separately as well. But we need to actually work out what the normal to the curve is. So we got to figure out what the gradient is. Once we figure out the gradient, we've got to find the normal gradient, and then we've got to come up with the equation of line. So there's actually quite a few parts that we need to actually do in this. I guess the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to call this y and uv. And so of course I'm going to put this as f dash of x. I don't know why, but I could do that. It's going to be u dash v plus uv dash. Once again, this is available in your formula sheet, so you don't need to kind of like remember it. So I've got u equals x squared plus 3x plus 2, which means u dash is equal to 2x plus 3. V is equal to cos 3x. And when I differentiate cos, I'm going to get negative sine 3x. And of course, don't forget to multiply by the differentiation of this, which happens to be 3. Most common mistake people do in this types of questions is they forget that little 3, and guess what, your whole equation is going to end up getting wrong, and you've just wasted like 10 minutes of your time to get a measly achieved because of that one silly little mistake there. All right, so be very careful with that. All right, we also need to know what do we know, where the curve crosses the y-axis. All right, so we kind of need to figure out what the y value is when x equals to 0, because that's literally what this means. When it crosses the y-axis means x is equal to 0, and what is y? So we've got to figure out f of 0 first. So f of 0 is, I'm going to go back to my original equation, and I'm going to substitute wherever there's an x with 0. So I've got 0 squared, 0, 3 times 0, and then I've got cos of 3 times 0. So all of this is going to actually give me, what do we got here? 0, 0, 0, 2. Cos of 0 is 1, so there we go. F of 0 is 2. So we've got a point now. Our point is 0, 2. We now need the gradient at 0. So we're going to go in here. We never actually did f dash of x, so let's put that together. F dash of x is u dash, which is 2x plus 3, multiplied by cos 3x, plus u, which equals to x squared plus 3x plus 2, multiplied by v dash, which is negative 3 sine 3x. Now, when we actually put down 0, so f dash of 0 equals, I've got 2 times 0, which is 0 plus 3. Then I've got cos 3 times 0 plus 0 squared plus 3 times 0 plus 2 multiplied by minus 3 sine 3 times 0. Right, so I know that sine 0 is equal to 0. So this entire thing on the final part is going to be 0. And as for this side, I know that I've got 3 in the bracket. 2 times 0 is 0. 0 plus 3 is 3, which gives me 3 times cos of 0 is 1. So I get the gradient is equal to 3. Now, because the gradient is equal to 3, so I can say that gradient is equal to 3, then the normal gradient is equal to negative 1 over 3. All right, with that in mind, I can now work out what the equation of the normal is. So I would go y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. Now the point I'm going to use is 0, 2, because that's the point that I calculated for this purpose. And I've got y minus 2 equals negative 1/3 x minus 0. So I've got y minus 2 equals negative 1/3 of x. And so I can say y is equal to negative 1/3 of x plus 2. So grades wise, what we're looking at is your final answer with correct solution with correct derivative is going to get you a merit. Now, unfortunately, I told you, like, you know, that 3 you got to be careful with, because if you forget about that 3, then you don't really have the correct derivative, which means you will not even get an achieved for that question. All right, for the achieved part, you must have this entire line correctly. Otherwise, you are not getting an achieved for this question, despite the amount of work that you actually do. All right, so what do we got here? A few questions. Any questions? I'll start answering here. Now, my whole class used to do videos, especially when exams are close. Oh, Leo, you have no idea, man. Like, this is I keep an eye on my on the number of views and everything that I get. It's basically like a really cool little spike that happens around between August and November. That's when this channel is like super busy, and then after that it just kind of like goes super quiet. So yeah, no, I completely hear you on that. Aditya, f dash of x is basically a differentiated function which you will learn next year at level 2, because I don't think you actually know what the meaning of derivative is. But basically, Aditya, it's just like looking at a curve or a slope, and you're getting an equation for what happens to the slope at various points. Well, Tyrese is getting ready for next year. He's like, no, I'm gonna do calculus next year, and I'm like, I need to kind of start working on it. Good on you, buddy. Good on you. How would you know when to use the quotient product rule as to when to expand out the brackets? Alex, I'm going to be really honest with you, all right? If you're going to expand the brackets, yes, you can expand the brackets in this case, but you're still going to end up with a product rule because you're going to get like x squared cos 3x, which is a product, plus 3x cos 3x, which is also a product. So you're actually going to create more work for yourself by expanding. The way you kind of have to look at it is that I always say this, you know, for you to recognize two functions, I would almost say go and have a look at the, you know how in the formula sheet, you actually have all of these differentiated things like on a kind of like a table. I would say if you have like two of them combined, then on the numerator, then it's a product rule. All right, so product rule basically means that when you're multiplying two things. Now in this case, you can see the thing that's highlighted in yellow is actually getting multiplied by cos 3x. So, and because they're getting multiplied, that's why we actually use the product. Quotient is when you're dealing with a fraction. When you have a fraction, you got to use quotient rule because you've got something in the numerator and something in the denominator, and therefore quotient rule would be a lot more easier to use. Why is gradient of normal negative 1 over m? Aryan, so there's multiple ways people look at it. Like sometimes, oh, you've got, oh, thanks, Postman, you've actually already explained it. Stephen, are you doing any tutorials on second order differential equations? Not till I get to, when I get to integration, man, but I think there are some videos from back in the day that I made, which is still available in the channel. I don't know if you know about it. If you don't know, let me know. I'll point you in the right direction. Yes, Tyrese, calculus level 2 is highly recommended for doing calculus at level 3. No worries, Alex, you're welcome. Let me, guys, if you want me to move on to the next question, let me know. I'll put it up and then I'll kind of answer the rest of the questions. But seems like you guys don't have any more questions, so I will put up the next question, which is one of my favorite questions, which is rate of change. By the way, if you get rate of change as a merit question, you gotta be like, you know, you just gotta be happy, man, because it's like one of those easy merit questions that you get when you get to do rate of change. But going back to Aditya's question, my school just puts us into maths, then we can pick calc. Yeah, Aditya, like some schools actually have like separate courses at level 2, while some schools actually have it as just maths, and then inside of that you could actually pick whether you want to do stats or maths depending on, yeah, like depending on how many people that are choosing and what not. Yeah, so it really depends on the school. Like if you have like an area school, sometimes you only get like 10 people in your level 2 maths class, so they gotta do, like they just do maths, but then they kind of break off into like you can do algebra, you can do calculus, probability or whatnot. Time, guys, I'm going to give you guys a time, so I'm going to go through this answer at 8, let's go with it, 8, let's go 8:33 p.m. all right, I'm going to give you guys 5 minutes. Now notice I'm only giving you guys like 5 or 6 minutes for some of these questions. Equation for a sphere, 4/3 pi r cubed, I think. Yeah, there we go. 4/3 pi r cubed. Your equation for a sphere. By the way, it is given in your formula sheet as well. If you do forget it, which happens, I always get confused with the cone and the sphere. Catch you later, Aditya. 15 pi r squared. Let me check. Ooh. Is that 1 over 15 pi or 15 pi? Yeah. 1 over 15 pi is on the money. Leo, no man, like, I mean, every year I get asked the whole scholarship tutorial questions, and brutally honest, I just don't have the time, dude. Like, because I'm like, I do a lot of Postman Pat will know, like I told him, like, you know, I spend a lot of time in our school's makerspace, and I'm constantly kind of like just making things, and then I kind of do my YouTube stuff, and then I have my own store as well. So, and on top of that, I'm a father to a 5-year-old who has just discovered PlayStation, and so I get the time to actually play with him. So, you know, and it's just like, it gets full on. Like even this, I struggle sometimes just to do like algebra at level 1, all the level 1 algebra standards, the level 2 algebra and calculus, and level 3 standards. That's more than enough. Like, it's just way too much work. 8:33. Oh, we got 1.5 minutes. But no, Leo, I mean, every now and then I do look at the paper. I look at the exam paper every now and then, and I kind of do a little bit of problems here and there. But then, like, it's just like, it's really weird because some of the questions that I did at high school are now they're called scholarship calculus, which is kind of like, I don't remember. Like, this is not Scald, because this is like stuff we did when we were in high school normally, but I guess times change, right? What do you need, Abdullah? Check it up. If I have time after this video, we'll actually go through it, okay? 8:33. Polar form. Hey, Abdullah, have you actually, Abdullah Khan Patan, have you actually heard of the secret hidden playlist for complex numbers, buddy? In my channel, there's a secret hidden playlist. I'll send it to you. But basically, if you want to study complex numbers, I would strongly recommend you to watch this set of videos. Let me just try to see where it starts from. Oh yeah, here we go. Control, copy. Alright, dude, this little video that I'm sending you right now, that playlist there that I'm sending you, it's got, don't worry about watching video 1, but like start watching from video 2. I guarantee it. Like, everybody that's actually gone through, watch those 12 hours of videos, they've actually come out and said that they've either got a merit or higher. So hopefully that answers your question, but at the same time solidifies your other questions in rest of complex numbers as well, because yeah, you should easily get a merit if you watch those 12 and kind of practice those questions with me. Okay guys, so moving to question 2D here. What do we got here? We've got a rate of change. The first thing we need to kind of recognize is that we've got a volume that's actually changing over time. So we can write this as dv dt equals 260. The next thing is, what's the question asking us? The question is asking us find the rate at which the radius is increasing when radius is 15. So they're actually asking for dr dt. What is it when r equals to 15? Now the first thing you really want to be doing is you want to actually set up the equation. You've got a volume of a sphere, all right? So when you look at this, this is volume of a sphere. We're going to write that equation down straight away. Volume of a sphere is 4/3 pi r cubed. All right, now we need to figure out a way to kind of link these three equations together. All right, and majority of the time with rate of change questions, whether you have a volume or whether you have a surface area, you have to differentiate it with respect to r or h or whatever it is. In this case, it's respect to r. So I'm going to rewrite this or differentiate this. So I get dv dr equals 3 times 4/3 pi r squared, which can also be said as 4 pi r squared. Beautiful. This is the first part that needs to be done, right? Now the next part that you need to do is you need to figure out a way to combine this dv dt, dr dt, and of course dv dr. Now the good thing is we know that we are looking for dr dt. What are the things we actually have? We actually have dv dr, which we just calculated, and we also got dv dt, but what we're going to do is we're going to flip it. So what I've done here is I have flipped dt dv, and I've got dv dr from here to go in here, because what's going to happen is if you look at it, dr is in the numerator. Oh, I just realized I made a dt dv. Oh, I've just done that completely wrong, haven't I? Yep, that's fine. Let's do that again. So I gotta go back and edit this, which is freaking annoying, but that's all right. I just need to put a little thing in there somewhere to say that I need to edit it. That's fine. Let's try this again. So we've got dr dt, and what do I got? I need dv dt is going to go like this, dv dt multiplied by dr dv. That's better. So dv dt comes there, dv dr gets flipped. Cool, that looks good. And then you've got dr in the numerator, and of course you've got dt in the numerator, and our two dv's kind of because we're doing respective of each other, it kind of disappears. So dv dt is, we've got 60 multiplied by 1 over 4 pi r squared. Now at this point r is equal to 15, so I could actually say 60, hang on, let me just put this way. I can rewrite this as 60 over 4 pi 15 squared, which of course can be written as 60 divided by 4 is 15, 15 divided by pi times 15 squared. So one of them gets cancelled out, and I'm going to get 1 over 15 pi. So basically dr dt equals 1 over 15 pi. You can leave it as 1 over 15 pi. Units are not actually required. Grades wise, you are looking at achieved. Geez, merit for this. There we go. That is going to be a merit. And as for achieved, you need to actually get dr dt. Now, I you know what? I was going to edit that mistake out, but I actually left it there because I wanted you guys to kind of see that, like, you know, when I do make a mistake, especially with these things, you can actually figure it out. All right. Yeah. So I think dv dt. Yep. dr dv. There we go. That's much better. I just made like a couple of mistakes there, but the good thing about rate of change questions is that even though you make those little slight mistakes, when you actually kind of try to put it together, if it doesn't work out like that, then you know you've done something wrong. Like I did, I kind of went halfway through. I'm like, hey, I made some mistakes. It's all right. You know what? I'm not going to edit that. I'm going to leave it there so you guys can see we make mistakes too. Yeah, no, sorry guys. I saw that on the chat only late as I kind of made a few mistakes. I don't know what that message was, Sarah. Alex, I've been thinking about it, whether I should do it or not. Maybe after I finish differentiation, I might actually go back and do something like that for, I mean, when I finish my exam paper ones, I might actually do a playlist like that, which is very long, but like, you know, try and capture the whole topic in like 12 hours so that we can, it's easy for you guys. But it's just, I never did that for differentiation and integration because we got out of lockdown at that point. Oh, you're right, Postman. I didn't talk about flipping. I might have to go back and edit it. Bugger. Okay, that's fine. I'll just go and fix that question later on. I'll need to remember. Might actually put a stop to this so that I know where I made my mistake. And put a little note. Do again. No, record again. Nah, it's just a note for me, guys. Don't worry about it. Sorry, Crimson. I was supposed to mention that, but I kind of forgotten about it as I kind of made a mistake. The reason I flipped it is because I want to make sure that I'm able to kind of get rid of the DV. That's why I actually had to flip it. Otherwise, I'm going to have two DVs in the numerator, and in the denominator, I was going to have a DT and DR. Thanks, Postman, for that, who's kind of helping me out. Sarah, I've just posted a playlist at the top there, a few comments before. Let me just put that in there again. So this is a playlist, Sarah. If you can watch from like the second video onwards, they're like look, I'm gonna be honest, they're like long videos, they're like 1 hour videos, but it's pretty much like I was teaching kids and I just recorded it, like, and it's basically 12 hours worth of footage there that you can watch and do the questions. Because what I do is I go through skills and then I show you how those skill questions pop up in the exams, so you can kind of like you can kind of do those questions in the exam without it. Chris, you legend, mate. Thank you, appreciate it, dude. This is the second time you're doing this, Chris. Appreciate it, man. That's pretty cool, dude. Vader, I need help with differentiation question. Can I email you the picture? You can, Vader, but I'm probably gonna do one more excellence question and I'm gonna call it, my friend. But when I get some time, I'll actually get to it probably in the weekend sometime. All right. Hey, Lily, welcome once again. Thank you, Chris. Appreciate it, mate. What do we got? Are we ready to move to the next question, guys? Or next question is an excellence one, but let me know. Yeah, Postman Pat's pretty onto it at the moment, so feel free to kind of. I think maybe I should give him like a little Infinity +1 logo sign or something. Yeah, Sarah, as I was talking to Alex before, I'll try and see whether if you guys are interested, I'm happy to do like when I'm trying to think when we do it, because you know it's like pretty full on, the differentiation paper, but like I'm happy to go and sit with you guys and just do like questions, skills and questions and so on. Right, next question. Gonna click record on this so I know that I need to record this again. Make sure you record this again. Question. All right. So guys, this is a long question, so I am gonna let you guys in it for about at least 7 to 8 minutes while I try and see how I can salvage the other question. No, I can't salvage it. I have to go back and edit that bit out. Nah, this is not a yuck question, man. It's actually like it's just understanding one little concept, and I'm gonna give you guys a bit of a clue for this. All right, the clue for this question is this is the clue for the question. All right. You're probably like, what the hell? Why is that a clue? Hey Chris, are you actually doing level 3 at the moment, or are you in uni? Because I can't remember. Unless he came and disappeared. Nope, looks like he came and disappeared. What a legend. So guys, if you do need another starting point, remember that square root is something to the power of half. So you can actually write y equals 2x minus 4 to the power of half, and kind of start differentiating from there as well. All right, and remember, with any excellence questions, particularly in differentiation, you should not leave it empty at all. All right, even if you don't understand the question, like you're like, oh my god, I don't know what they're asking. It doesn't matter. Just write the equation down, which is y equals square root of 2x minus 4, and differentiate it. Differentiate it and see what you can actually do, because sometimes you'd be amazed at what you will actually get achieved or merit for doing in certain questions. All right, so make sure that you guys never leave differentiation paper at level 3 any questions empty. Like, I always say this to some of my students that were like, oh sir, I really struggle with differentiation. I'm like, dude, all you got to do is every question, if you differentiate every question out of those 15 questions, you differentiate every one of them, you're going to get achieved. Like, hands down, you will get achieved with no, like, maximum, I think what you get maximum of 4 so 12 points. You will get 12 points for it, which is like a safe achieved. All right guys, I'm going to give you guys another minute or two to kind of work through, and then I'll slowly work with you guys so that if you do have any questions, you can just kind of pop in the comments. How are we doing? Oh, nice. Very nice, Postman Pat. I think you can actually start running the stream on your own now. All right, guys, I'm gonna start working on this. So let me just get rid of this. Cool. Now you might actually see this gradient kind of equation popping up. I'm gonna put it out there as a hint if you guys are kind of catching up with this video later on. That's the hint for you guys, you know, to kind of get you started. But if not, here we go. This is how we're going to do this question. So the first thing we've got to do is, as I said to you guys, we need to differentiate the equation. So we're going to put this as y dash or f dash of x. Let's go f dash of x just because it's easier. F dash of x, no, I'm going to put f of x first. So f of x, and I'm going to get rid of the square root symbol, which is 2x minus 4 to the power of half, which means f dash of x is equal to a half times 2x minus 4 to the power of negative half, and of course multiplied by the differentiation of inside the bracket, which happens to be 2. Next thing, cancel the 2 2's, and I'm left over with f dash of x is equal to 2x minus 4 to the power of negative half. Now what I've got here is I've actually got the gradient function here so far. All right, I can rewrite this slightly. I can rewrite this as f dash of x is equal to 1 over 2x minus 4 to the power of positive half. And of course I might just do one more step, and I'm going to write this as 1 over square root of 2x minus 4. Okay, now this is the gradient function. Now what we know is that the point P, there's a tangent, and it's actually going to go through negative 2, 1. We don't know what the point, we don't know the x value for point P, nor do we know what the y value for point P is, which means we don't actually know what the gradient at point P is as well. So because we don't really have anything else, the only thing that we do have is the equation for a gradient. And that's why I put that earlier there for you guys. Because if you look at point P itself, point P could be written as x1, y1, just to throw it out there. And this will become x2 and y2. Now the problem is I've got x and y. I mean, I've got x2 and y2, which is fine because I've got negative 2 and positive 1. But when it comes to P, I've got x and y. But what do I know? I know that it's actually on that curve square root of 2x minus 4. So I can replace P with x, whatever x is. I don't know what x is, but the y value of x could be replaced with 2x minus 4. And I think if you get this point here, then you can actually use the gradient function, because not the gradient function, the equation, the formula for gradient. Now the formula for gradient is m is equal to y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. What's y2? y2 is positive 1 minus y1, which happens to be square root of 2x minus 4 divided by x2, which happens to be minus 2, and minus x. Okay, so far so good. Let's kind of simplify this a little bit so that it's not as complex, with like negatives in the bottom and stuff. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take negative 1 out as a common factor, and I'm going to get negative 1 plus square root of 2x minus 4 divided by, I'm going to take negative 1 as a common factor, and I'm going to get 2 plus x. So what this does is gets rid of the two negatives. And then I can rewrite this as m is equal to square root of 2x minus 4 minus 1, and the whole thing divided by x plus 2. Right, so we've actually got an equation for the gradient where everything is in x. But there's one more thing. We also know what the gradient is, because if you think about it, m is what the gradient is. Well, so is f dash of x. That's also another way of saying gradient. And at that x value, we can actually say that the gradient is equal to 1 over square root of 2x minus 4. So we can rewrite this as now 1 over square root of 2x minus 4 equals square root of 2x minus 4 minus 1 over x plus 2. Cool. So with that in mind, what we then do is we're going to cross multiply. So when I cross multiply, I'm actually doing this. So I've got 1 times x plus 2 equals square root of 2x minus 4, and inside the bracket I've got square root of 2x minus 4 minus 1. So at this point I've got to start expanding the brackets. So I've got x plus 2 on the left hand side. As for the right hand side, I've got square root times square root, which will get rid of the square root, and I'm going to have 2x minus 4. Then I've got square root of 2x minus 4 times negative 1, which is going to give me minus square root of 2x minus 4. Next, I need to rearrange everything to get rid of the square root symbol. So what am I going to do? I'm going to bring the 2x minus 4 to the left-hand side so it becomes positive. And I'm going to leave 2x minus 4 here. And as for the x plus 2, I'm going to bring it across, which means it'll become minus x minus 2. So what do I've got left? I've got 2x minus 4 equals 2x minus x is x minus 6. Now I can get rid of the square root symbol by actually squaring both sides. And I'm going to end up with 2x minus 4 equals x squared minus 12x plus 36. I just kind of expanded the quadratic real quickly. Then get rid of the 2x minus 4 to the other side. We're going to get x squared minus 12x plus 36. What do we got? Minus 2x plus 4. And so we're getting 0 is equal to x squared minus 14x plus 40. When we factorize this, we're going to get 0 is equal to x minus 4, x minus 10, which means x is equal to positive 4 or positive 10. Now here's the issue that we've got. We've actually got two x values, but we know that p is only equal to one of those x values, right? So what we've got to do is we've actually got to figure out which one of those two x values is actually correct. Now there's multiple ways in which you can do this, right? There is multiple ways you can do this. But the one method I'm going to choose is I'm actually going to go and put 4 and 10 in this equation right here. Because if I put 4, then those equations should work out to equal to each other. And for one of those values, it's not going to work out to each other. So let's actually take that little equation out here first. So we've got 1 over square root of 2x minus 4 equals square root of 2x minus 4 minus 1 divided by x plus 2. So when x is equal to 4, I'm going to get 1 over 2 times 4 minus 4 equals square root of 2 times 4 minus 1 over 4 plus 2. Now on this side I've got 1 over square root of 4 times 2 is 8, 8 minus 4 is 4, and in this side I've got 4 times 2 is 8, 8 minus 4 is 4 minus 1 over 6. So I'm getting 1 over 2 equals 2 minus 1 over 6. 1 over 2 equals 1 over 6. This is not possible, so x can't actually equal to 4. Now I'm going to try and do this with x equals to 10. So when I do x equals to 10, I'm going to get 1 over 2 times 10 minus 4 equals square root of 2 times 10 minus 4 minus 1 over 10 plus 2. All right, let's see what happens here. We're going to get 1 over 20 minus 4, which is square root of 16. And here, I'm going to get square root of 16 minus 1 over 12. I've got 1 over 4 equals 4 minus 1 over 12. I've got 1 over 4 is equal to 3 over 12, which is true. So I can say that therefore x equals to 10. But the issue is I need to figure out the coordinates of p, right? Because let's go back to the question. It's actually asking coordinates of p. So I actually need the y value as well. But that's easy because I know that y is equal to square root of 2x minus 4. And so y is equal to square root of 2 times 10 minus 4, which is going to give me 16 minus 4. Square root of that is equal to 4. So I can say that p is equal to 10 and 4. Grades wise, guys, this looks like it's a double excellence question, which means like you're going to get 8 points for it, for getting everything correct. But you actually need to say that x is not equal to 4, and I think I kind of need to say that here, that x is actually not equal to 4 to get that full excellence Excellence grade. Because without any justification, yeah, I should have actually written x is not equal to 4. And because I didn't do that, I'm only going to get an E7, which sucks. But otherwise, if you do everything else, you're going to get E8, which is that 8 points. dy dx can get you, wow, this part right here is actually getting you a merit and square root of, where is that part there? Okay, now, so this part is going to get you an achieved, which is getting to the derivative. And for the merit part, you kind of doing up to here to get a merit. That right there, up to that line there, is going to get you a merit. Yeah, that's about it for this question. How about you guys? What did you guys... You did that such a longer way. What was your method, Postman? Keen to know. Tom, I'm gonna say no to that because no, I think with differentiation, the first part of the question that you'll get achieved for is the differentiation. So the maximum achieved questions you can get in one question is worth 4 points. Because if you get one merit question correct, then you get 5 points. So that means maximum achieved means you're going to get 3 lots of 4, which is 12. And usually cut score for merit is at about a 13, I think. 13 or 13, yeah. I'm sure it's a 13. Yeah, Vader, I'm not very far. I'm in Manukau, man, so... yeah, I'll be keen to see what you did, Postman, because, you know, there's always different ways to do it. Dandaman, why can you make the square root of 2x minus 4 the y value? The reason is because if you look at the question, buddy, it says y is equal to 2x square root of 2x minus 4. So when I figured out that x equals to 10, I just substituted in there to actually get the y value. Oh, glad to hear, King. Was that the excellence question that you were talking about, or were you doing the merit one before as well? By the way, guys, that's us done for the night. I'm just gonna sit back here and chat for a few minutes before heading off. So thank you for joining. If you are taking off, catch you up next week while we finish off question 3 next week, and then after that we'll actually start on integration exam and kind of go through it slowly. Yeah. And one more thing, I keep saying this to people, man. I want some help to get to that little silver plaque if I can. Apparently it's 100k subs. It's going to take me a while to get there at the current rate, but hey, if you can kind of let people know about this channel, get them to subscribe, that'd be super cool. But other than that, what other questions do we have? I might actually come to full screen. Where is it? What other questions do we have about not just calculus, life as well? That's good to know, King. In your opinion, which is the hardest level 3 calculus standard? To be honest, I'm just trying to think. Personally, I found I always find integration a bit tricky. like, I don't know, I just like those excellence questions. Like, so some of those little proof questions that you get, I find it tricky some years, especially Newton's law of cooling. Oh man, it's like, yeah, I always get kind of like confused with that. In terms of easiest, I would go with what I go with that I find easy, complex numbers. Because complex numbers is like, you just kind of go, there's only so many questions they can ask. I really enjoy doing complex numbers because it's like, it's one paper that I can actually do without a calculator. I just kind of work through it really quickly. Yeah, and they repeat the same stuff as well. That's pretty much it. I remember like in differentiation, I think it was in 2013. I remember it so clearly, like 2014 actually. I got one of my kids to do all the exam papers, and in 2014 there was a question paper that was almost exactly the same question, just with the numbers changed in 2014, but it was a question from 2008, I think it was. Yes, agreed, Vader. Agreed. I find that harder. Sometimes I find level 1 MCAT hard because it's just, I just can't figure out the question, man, what they're trying to ask. I'm gonna see if I can try and make my comments pop up here. Give us a second. YouTube widgets, YouTube chat viewer. Oh, here we go. What does this do? Chat box opacity. Oh, look at this. I was playing around with this before, but how do I make the font size bigger? Timestamps. Oh, that's pretty cool. Oh god, 2020 paper, I think it was. Yeah, like especially the algebra papers, the last few ones have been like such a pain, man. Like I honestly sit there going, it's like, actually no, you know what? Algebra is not bad. Level 1 tables, equations, and graphs. That is like, I just feel like crying every year when I do that paper because I'm like, what are they asking here? And sometimes I'm like, what I do is I get the answer schedule and I'm like, I pretty much have to go through the answer schedule to try and understand first what the question's asking and then try and explain it to people. It's just like, that's but what did you get, Postman, for table TEG back in the day? How ln of y becomes 1 over y. Geez, I don't know, Dougie. I think it's more like it's just the formula that I follow. What do I think of stats? God, hang on before I forget this. Achieved on level 2 topic test. Yeah, Vader, you'll find that like level 3 is a lot more straightforward. So you kind of go, yep, I know what I'm doing, and I can just kind of get through it. But level 2 can be like a bit messy. I got E and MCAT too. Dog, I actually love stats. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, that's before like 2013. Like the old school stats, I love it. But the new stuff, it just got to me with the whole reading. And I'm gonna be honest, I'm not a big reader. And especially when kids faff and just write like long ass stories about the median, I just go like, oh, I can only read so much about the median before I kind of go, nah, can't do this anymore. Yeah, so I do like the pure stats and like working with like odds and things like that. I really enjoy it. I love normal distribution. Like normal distribution, binomial, Poisson is like used to be my favorite, but I think they kind of all got disintegrated slowly into other things. Stats is just like, especially the internals. I don't enjoy stats internals. At least stats externals somewhat I was enjoying, but then even that got like, when they started doing like things like reports and stuff like that, I was like, just so much reading. Yeah, for sure, Postman. because it is a huge jump. Like, because most people think MCAT's kind of like the major stuff until they actually get to like calc and realize, wow, there's a whole new world. Yeah, King, I think locus questions, especially now, they're asking those ones where you have to complete the square and tell where the center is, and stuff like that. So it's quite interesting. Venn diagrams as well. Man, I used to love drawing Venn diagrams. So Dub Dog, have you actually finished stats, or are you in uni at the moment? Because you said you got excellence for stats report. Vader, it depends. If you're like in engineering, you use it pretty much a lot. Because I did like a maths degree, and I think when it came to complex numbers, I'm trying to think polar, because you kind of start branching off after that. Like, I think in my stage 2, I did like an entire year's worth, like half a year worth of differential equations. And then in my level 3, I did an algebra paper, which was all about coding, and like, not coding, code, how to break prime numbers and codes and things like that. And that was a lot of fun. Postman, that's cool, man. That's really good. Actual, that's pretty decent pay too, if I remember correctly. Raid, you can. What level are you? Because like generally, like in schools, they have like an option of choosing calculus or statistics. Yes, you can do both. In some schools, they actually have the whole maths course as one course, but like it depends on what your school does. I mean, sometimes some kids will be allowed to do both. Sometimes they're like, oh, you can't do both, but like really, it should be really no one stopping you if you want to say you want to study something. Oh, you're talking about your time series. Yeah, I think I did bivariate report for like once, and I was like, no, man, this is just, God, it was painful for me to do that. I was like, I don't think I can do this again. Just the amount of writing and reading, it's like, give me like 100 proof questions, I'll do that anyway. Anytime 100 proof questions over like those questions. Multivariate calculus, vector calculus, and linear algebra at uni. Honestly, Veda, I know, like, people won't believe it, but like I say it pretty much like every other stream. I flunked so badly in uni, man. Like, I don't even remember any of those things. I just got like, I failed for like the first 5 years, and then first 5 years I failed, and I pretty much scraped on C's and got my degree, and then the rest is history. Like I was telling my wife the other day, it's like, C's get you degrees. That's it. Doesn't matter if you get a C or an A. Like, no single person, like, even when I went to my first job interview, they did not actually ask me what grade I got. All they cared about, oh, do you have a qualification with teaching? I'm like, yes, I have a qualification of secondary teaching, because I actually got a Bachelor of Science in mathematics. It's like, oh, cool, okay, you're good to go. They don't sit there going, it's like, oh, what's your grade and stuff like that. So I was one of the laziest guys when it came to uni. I was like trying to figure out all the fast shortcuts, and then failed miserably. And then in the end, the only reason I passed was because I sat down and studied exam papers and figured out, like, these questions always come in an exam. These questions don't come in an exam. So kind of like what you guys do with the repetitive questions. Pretty much that's what I did, and that's how I passed the papers. Sorry, I'm just having a look through. The differentiation is good. Yeah. You guys did it on COVID. Facebook ads. I'm gonna go back to this Yeah, raid. I would say it's probably one of the best kind of revision that you can do, because past papers, like, and you got to do things like you got to time yourself, dude. Like, I used to do past papers, and then I would time myself, and then I'll see how many questions I can do this time. Just because I did it once doesn't mean I'll do it. Like, I remember when I was in high school, I did like the same paper like 6 or 7 times, and every single time I'll be like, oh, I didn't know how to do that. I'll go back and have a look. Oh yeah, I remember. And then a week later I go back to that same past paper and try again, and I'm like, I try and remember. It's like, oh, I remember doing this, but no, I didn't get it. Then I'm like, okay, let's go check the answer, have a look at the answer, do again, come back like another 2 weeks later, and then do those exam papers. Keep practicing exam papers, keep timing yourself, because that's pretty important as well. Yeah. Did I party? No, man. Like, I was poor as hell because I was working so many jobs, because I was living by myself, and I didn't know how to manage my money. I was broke. Like, it was a hard time in uni, because I was living here by myself since I was 18, and then just had a couple of suitcases and a couple of bucks in the bank account, and didn't know what I was doing, and kind of learned everything on the fly. So had no money to party. I was a poor ass guy. Dub Dog, I'm actually stopping those, right? Because the night before streams, because people just end up worrying way too much about it. Like, I get on the night of the stream, like, 1,000 people joining, and they're like, "Oh, can you teach me everything? When's your exam? Tomorrow." Oh man, that's not gonna work. So that's why I stopped it. Like, I do it like the previous night, just to kind of ease the situation with people. Implicit differentiation is in the exam. Nah, Dougie, it's not. I think they pulled it out of the syllabus, but it's useful for like scholarship calculus and so on. Yeah, right. MCAT from 2011 was like so easy compared to 2021. Just things have changed, man. Like, people that write those questions just make it harder every year as it goes. Level 3 papers, I think they do give enough time. Like, I've managed to, like, so the way the rule works is like, I think it's 1 to 3. 1 to 3 or 1 to 2, I'm trying to think. Nah, I'm sure it's around 1 to 3. Like, basically a teacher should take about 20 minutes to do that, those papers, all the questions in an exam paper. And I think a couple of times I've done like 1 hour and 15. So yeah, but that's because like I was trying to do it without a calculator. That was a different story. Yeah, even 2015, like if you go back to 2010 or 2011, right, you'll even see much bigger. Now that I think in my year 11 MCAT. Oh yeah, I think 2 years ago I was doing that like the night before exams, but I think it just got too busy, man. Like, it just got so crazy busy, and I was like, oh, it's no more. To be honest, right, like if I was to do the questions, brutally honest, I would be like hard out skills questions, right? Like, forget about word questions. I mean, like, okay, fine. Jimmy goes here and does this for like, takes a train here, and who cares about that, to be honest? Like, and I'm not gonna lie, like last year there was a question on the chicken and pizza. Man, I felt like I was so annoyed with that question. It's not even funny. Mine would be like hard out skills, right? Like 2 to the power of x times this, and just go nuts with those types of questions. Music, Dub Dog, there is no off topic. We're just chatting, so feel free to ask questions. Um, Music depends, man. Like, I mean, I listen to just a whole range of things. It's kind of hard to put it in like one. I'm trying to look at it because like my Spotify is shared with my dog and my wife at the moment. Yeah, don't ask me about the dog. So let's see. This is I'm gonna see if I can try and chuck it up here. So this is pretty much my yeah, by the way, this is my dog's playlist, so he doesn't actually go and bark in the nighttime. So this pretty much plays the whole night when we've gone to sleep, just so that he doesn't go chase cats. But this is pretty much like my, I don't know, just whole heap of just random stuff that's in there. I don't even know where to begin. But like this is my running music, right? So it's like chuck it on and off I go. Favorite song. What's a song that I've listened to most is actually I don't know. I do know what it is, but like even now, Avicii, man, Avicii's The Nights, such a good song. Enjoy that. Yeah, right. Don't like honestly for like for kids that do Kumon, it's like MCAT is like a bit of an annoying thing because your parents can get really frustrated because they're like, man, we sent you to Kumon and you come back with a merit. Trust me, like by the time you get to like level 3 calculus, you will be just like nailing level 2 and level 3 calculus. But it's just the MCAT is just like such a weird little paper that is that you end up with like some really strange questions. The rate of push-ups it can't be constant, man. Like I try to do that one of the challenges this morning, which was called like bring Sally up and bring Sally down push-up challenge with some Russian dude, and I'm like, this is hard. There's no way a rate of push-up can actually be constant. It's like as you do more, you get tired. What religion? I'm supposed to be a Hindu, but I have a lot of questions about that. So I haven't been to a temple in a long time. I do love going to churches and I do love going to mosques because to me, it's just the feeling, right? Like you go and I like going to temples as well, but like it's the feeling that you're in that place. Nice, got a bit of Flow Rider. Yeah, which one is that song? Flow Rider's song. Oh, the Good Feeling. Yeah, Good Feeling with Avicii's mix is like such a good one. Mister, don't call me sir, man. My kids call me Subhash, or my old kids used to call me Mr. Chandikay, but that's like, jeez. Please help. Can you do a stats, concepts, and distribution level 3 NCEA paper? Never. If I do that, like that'll be like, I think I'll just run out of time. Sorry, Katie. I just stay away from stats. Look, like I think for me, I spent a lot of time I spent a lot of time traveling, and so I've been to quite a few mosques, and like one of my favorite mosques is in Egypt. Just really just something special, and if I think about churches, it's like some of my favorite churches are in South America, so love it. So station wagon. What car do I drive? Just a normal Toyota station wagon. It's funny, I actually have like kids catching the bus outside my home, and every now and then I wonder because like sometimes I've seen them like on a morning of an exam and they're like watching something on their phones, and I'm like, man, I'm kind of wondering, are they actually watching my stuff outside my own home? Because that would be pretty epic, right? Nah, Riot, nah. Like I think one thing that I do was like see you later, take care, man. Bugatti. Yeah, nah, not enough money. Actually, don't care about money. I think it's just do what you do, and it's good times. Like right now, like look, right now I'm like so tired, but I'm kind of just having a good time, having a conversation, and it's good fun. Like I think money can't buy that. Like so, as long as I enjoy what I do, is like, okay, that's good fun. Sparkling water. I've tried that, man. Like, it's all right, I guess. You know what's crazy is that you guys have actually asked more questions. Like, where's that chat rate? Like, I'm having a look at that chat rate. There's actually more questions after 9 o'clock than before. It's just pure activity, is it? No. It's just crack up. What color is it? Fizzy Bubble Tech. Never heard of it. Yeah, it's still, it's just life is life, right? Like, it just keeps going, man. I do like I don't envy you guys, right? Like, sometimes people go, these kids have got everything, but I'm like, man, you guys got it tough. Like, crazy amount of things that you guys do. It's just like, I was thinking back to my high school the other day, and I was like, man, it was chilled out. We went out, like, and we got home, and that was it. Like, we went to school, we came home, and that was it. It's good fun. Do I play any instruments? My long-term goal has always been to learn a guitar. I've never really got to it. Would like to. Do I do past level 1 probability? Nah, stay away from probability. How do you get excellence on everything? Practice exams. Have you got any advice for university choices? Dougie, legal advice, get a lawyer. University choice, honestly, I am not going to sit here pretending to know that, what's good for you guys and what's not. Like, the one thing, like, I've always talked to my son is 5. Okay, my son is like 5 years old, and the things that I've actually said to him is like, I'm kind of putting aside a little bit aside for him, for when he finishes high school, and and it's not for his university. It's not for university at all. Like, I actually, like, me and my wife have talked about it quite a few times, and we're like, I want to give that money to him, and I said to him, look, son, just go travel. Go travel the world. I know you're only 18, like, or take a break. Go do like a 1-year job, like a mundane job, the most boringest job ever. Like, I met one of my students, really sharp kid, right? And he's like, oh man, I saw him in Pack and Save, and he's working in Pack and Save, and I'm like, dude, what are you doing? And he's like, oh, I'm just taking a gap year. And I'm like, that's awesome, right? Because it's like, you actually take time off, and he's like, oh, I'm gonna kind of figure out what I want to do, plus I get to save a bit of money, staying with family at the moment. And I'm like, man, that's such a good idea. Because it's like, why do you want to go into, like, you leave high school from a pressured situation to go into a situation where there's more pressure, and you got to pay $5,000, $6,000 for it, and a year later, like me, go, actually, that's not what I want to do. I want to change my degree. And then you pay another $6,000 to go and do like another degree, and then it's so easy to waste money. So university choices, figure out what you want first, and it changes. All right, what I studied in uni, like, okay, yeah, I'm a maths teacher right now, but like, there's a part of me that still wants to do other things. What do we got? My wife, she's studying to be a counselor at the moment. So she was actually working she was working in the Auckland City Labs, and then she quit during the pandemic. She quit, took some time off, and then I said to her, look, what do you want to do? She's like, oh, I always wanted to try counseling. It's like, and we've been talking about counseling for nearly 10 years, and so she's finally doing it. And I was like, cool, go for it. No, Abby, you're not asking. Postman is just trolling. Abby, you gotta figure out what works for you, kid, because it's like, what works for me is not gonna work for you. You actually gotta figure out what's good for you. How do I motivate myself to study? Like, to be honest, I haven't studied for a long time, but like, if I was to study, I watch a lot of videos. I like to study by kind of like it's experiential, so like doing things. So if I read something about like a teaching like skill or like teaching tactic, what I do is like I'm like, oh yeah, I get it, whatever. But then I'll go do it, and I want to learn from that. I find that learning from your mistakes is much better than trying to get everything right in the first time. How come I study hard and still doesn't come through in the results? So Abby, that's exactly what I'm talking about. It's not about studying hard. It's actually about studying, messing up, figuring out where you made those mistakes, and then kind of going from there. Oh man, I should not wear a white t-shirt. I can't read those comments. Vanch, if you're going into level 1, particularly MCAT is like your first exam, so I don't know how it's going to be in the next couple of years, because I know it's going to be changing. But apart from that, work on algebra, like hands down. Just hammer that algebra and like your basic number fractions. You're going to be good. Dougie, I'm glad you kind of feel that way, because like I've tried to do that with my year 8 and year 9 kids. Man, it's just I'm probably their worst maths teacher ever, if I can think of. It's just like I can't figure out how to teach year 8s and year 9s. I struggle. UEGs. Yeah, UEGs was a crazy time last year. Yeah, it's funny because some of my kids that have left me now, like 2 years ago, I used to be working with them. They've all left and like they've gone into senior college, and it's crack up. They've actually come and see me. A couple of the kids came and saw me this year. They're like, "Sir, you're Infinity plus one. How come you didn't tell us?" And I was like, well, but I don't know how it works, because I kind of say it every now and then, but then you don't at year 8 you don't really listen to me, or year 9 you don't listen to me. So I was like, oh well, yeah. So it's kind of funny, and then they come back, they're like, oh my god, this is so helpful. Can you do more stuff? And I'm like, yeah, I'll get to it eventually. Oh man, glad to help. Hey guys, look, I know I was supposed to finish at 9 o'clock, and like people are still hanging around chatting away. But I'm gonna take off because I got a big day tomorrow. Which school is that, Dougie? I'm always keen to come and visit schools at some point, and when I come in, I kind of like put a little notification on Instagram that I'm coming over to certain schools, because I do like to visit a few schools here and there. I end up going to Papatoy Highs a lot. Right, I think we're back on for level 1 on Sunday. I want to know which schools these are. St. Cuts. Oh yeah, I know a few people. Oh, Kapiti. Yeah, I remember a few teachers from Kapiti emailing me. That was really cool. Westlake. Man, honestly, it's like, I think Kapiti College. No, I got an email from a couple of Kapiti teachers, so like a while back. Her name rings a bell. St. Bernard's. Wow. Lots of different schools. Clark rings a bell. Now, yeah, at my school, I kind of just do a lot of, laser cutting and like, yeah, just crazy stuff. Like at my school, I have a makerspace. I kind of spend most of the time in a makerspace, and I teach one class of maths. Hamilton, yeah. No, I think I went up to Whangarei once, and then I kind of visited a couple of schools there, and then I went to Christchurch, visited a couple of schools in Christchurch. But I do need to visit some schools this year, like just come and pop in. And I've always wondered, like, because every time I go to a high school, I'm like, oh, should I just go and see if there's any maths kids here that kind of worked with me and maybe take some photos for Instagram. But video games, yeah, man. But I'm like old school video games, right? Like I play StarCraft and Age of Empires, and then play, like recently I've started playing Overcooked with my son. That's a stressful game, man. Like you shouldn't be playing that game with a 5-year-old, but seriously, jeez, that's so we play that, and then we play Avengers. What else do we play? Play like a couple of car racing games. Vanch, yes to physics and yes to electronics and electrical things. Not so much on the chemistry or the biology. Like I like breaking stuff and making stuff, so it's like that's me pretty much. Yeah, the PlayStation one is a bit of a. We play like a couple of games, and so he's enjoying it. Fortnite, I tried it once, but I like how do you call it? I like shooting games on the computer with like with a mouse and a keyboard. I was like, I saw a comment coming up, and then I was like, now on PC I play Age of Empires and what is the other one? StarCraft 2. Yeah, what's the deal with resubs? It's like I heard that they changed that you can't resub for like anything higher than an achieved. Is that what it is for you guys? Right, I played that on opening day, buddy. I got it on opening day when it actually came out first in October 2013. I bought it on day one. Oh, damn, that means marking just became a little bit more easier. Maybe I can go back to high school. So hang on, so if I actually say you get a merit and that's it, no more resub. Jeez, that does save a lot of time. Vanch, achievement standards, there's two kinds of papers. There's unit standards and achievement standards. Now, unit standards you can only get not achieved or achieved, which I don't know if it's still there. Achievement standards you actually get achieved, merit, and excellence. Oh wow. Why is there like a little M for magnesium for a symbol? Wait, what's magnesium symbol? Like I don't know. Like magnesium symbol. Oh wow. Well, I guess that's a bit harsh, isn't it? Because I mean that's like, I guess mg is milligrams or micrograms, milligrams. That's preach. I think that'll be a great Photoshop project for some kid out there. I had a couple of years ago, I had a kid that actually put Keanu Reeves' hair on my photo from somewhere. No, actually no, they did a face swap of my face with Keanu Reeves, which I thought was the most funniest thing ever. Whoa, hang on. So Dub, you could have got an excellence, but because of that capital M, you got a not achieved, and then changing it to a little capital M got you an achieved. Wow, that's pretty harsh, man. That is harsh. What? Wait, missed one word and failed completely, so you didn't even get a resub for it, Dougie. Jeez. Yeah, I know the stats standards. You have to say a certain sentence to pass. Like that's what got me so upset. Um, with that, I was like so annoyed. I was like, what? Why would you do that? Ah, chemistry. And I failed chemistry as well. I don't think Cambridge is easy. I think it just it's much more. It's different, right? Like how they ask questions. Probably like MCAT is a bit. It's annoying more than hard. I think it's annoying. I don't know, Euler. I reckon Skull Calc is not too bad. It's like I think as long as you have enough practice, you'll be all right with anything. Right. Look, guys. I know I said I was gonna go 5 minutes ago, but it's like I'm an Indian parent thing. Like we just sit there talking for the whole time, and people just keep asking questions. But yeah, look, I'll catch up with you guys for level 3 on next week Thursday. But otherwise, I will catch up with level 1s on Sunday night, and I think we're going to be doing our last level 3 of that question. So yeah, you guys take care. I will catch you guys later. I think the chat will usually stay on for like after 10 or 20 comments after I finish stopping the stream. But if not, take care, guys, and I will catch you guys next time. And thanks again for chilling out and just having a conversation to the end. It's nice. No worries. See you guys. Q&A next time. Which Q&A? We will. One day Q&A. Proper Q&A. Just social Q&A. Okay, cool. Ta. See you.